Here you go. We're gonna do some reaction. I have like a couple videos that like I really want to fucking like get into, like that I really wanted to watch. So you'll come for the ride, right? All right, let's check this out. So this first one, the first one is well, Russ Cole, a character that like people maybe forgot. I never did. Like it's like it's basically the wife of like the fucking like husbando of like the TV shows like of cinema. Like this character from like True Detective is actually like really like impressive when it comes to like just like the vibe, but also like the themes of and the philosophy of the dude Rust Cole. So basically, True Detective, if you don't know, is a story about like is a TV show about like some two detectives that like reunites after like years or decades to solve a crime, right? And one is really like emotional, like kind of like like the uh, acting before thinking type of cop, and the other is really like this really like really intellectual and like a deep type of character. You can find like a character similar in true like Criminal Minds. There is like a character kind of like him, but this one is like the difference between this one and the other one, so between Russ Cole and let me check, um uh Russ Cole and yeah, it's Spencer Reed. Basically, it's someone like that, kind of like has the same a similar vibe to Spencer Reed, but the difference is that Russ Cole is a pure pessimist. Is a fatalist. Is not like the happy dude that actually Spencer Reed is. To give you like this comparison, like I don't really like see, maybe like there is most likely like others, well, like at this point we are like at the Joker level type of like just like mm, just like um mm, just like we're like Joker level type of like philosophy of just like, well, try to avoid the term pessimism because it's the name of the video, but like basically of pessimism, but also like non-belief in like hope, like hopelessness, but intellectual hopelessness, like not a stupid hopelessness that is just like things are bad, like things are bad and life is shit. No, it's just I kind of studied, like I checked out what's life about, and I saw the people that we actually have to live with, and now, from my calculations, I don't think that like we're gonna make it. Like that we're gonna build a better future, like people fucking talk. So let's check this out. I'm actually really curious to check this video out. So Russ Cole, my name, like I completely forgot. But like really fascinating guy. By the way, if you didn't watch True Detective, good suggestion. You should definitely watch it. I wanted to rewatch it just because of Rust Cool, actually, because of Rust Cool, and like just the whole vibe of the show. It's dark, it's grim, and it's like, anyway.
Look, I'd consider myself a realist, all right? But in philosophical terms, I'm what's called a pessimist.
Okay, what's that mean?
Means I'm bad at parties.
He also has like this self-deprecating sense of humor that I really like. That is really like really well thought
I
out.
think human consciousness was a tragic misstep in evolution. We became too self-aware. Nature created an aspect of nature separate from itself. We are creatures that should not exist by natural law.
Well, that sounds god-fucking awful, Rush.
We are things that labor under the illusion of having a self.
And so this guy is actually like kind of like his counterpart is kind of like the dude that actually like is this really like thing before do before thinking, like really emotional guy that does not have all this education, you know. So yeah, really interesting. Like
This accretion of sensory experience and feeling. Program. We are things that labor under the illusion of having a self. This accretion of sensory experience and feeling. Programmed with total assurance that we are each somebody. When in fact, everybody's nobody. I think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
I wouldn't agree with that technically, but like I will agree that like maybe stop the fucking like hopeless and senseless grind that like people fucking do, and maybe like throw one last fucking party instead of like having what like instead of like just having like two lifetime experiences, like three lifetime experiences where you actually like are someone and are not pretending to be someone. Like I don't know, like just like throw one last party and I don't know, fucking try to do something out of it. Be yourself, you know. Fuck this 9 to 5 grind. Fuck this and fuck this like for perception that like people are like all right, you know, like that people that we're all like clean and like like just like well fitted, you know. Like the only people that I can actually chill with are actually like people that admit actively that just like me, they are like messed up, they are fuck ups, and they're lost. Like I hate the fucking everything is perfect type of mentality, because like once you actually get into that, like get deeper into that, you find the same fucking messed up person, but that lies to herself about being alright. And it's like live like you don't have to be. Doesn't mean that like you sacrifice like happiness. It just mean that you sacrifice you sacrifice hypocrisy for that. Which is so this is why like I respect characters and perspectives like this.
So, what's the point of getting out of bed in the morning?
I tell myself I bear witness. The real answer is that it's obviously my programming. And I lack the constitution for suicide. I get a bad taste in my mouth out here. Aluminum. Ash. See, we all got what I call a life trap. There's gene deep certainty that things will be different. That you'll move to another city and meet the people that'll be the friends for the rest of your life. That you'll fall in love and be fulfilled. Fucking fulfillment. And closure. Where the fuck those two fucking empty jars to hold this shitstorm. Like nothing's ever fulfilled. Until the very end. And closure. No. Nothing is ever over.
Like this is kind of like the thing where it's like this happy people, the happy people, like they fucking talk about it over and over, and this is sickening to me, because because the same route exists, but just as someone that is a realist, someone realistic, doesn't fucking like fucking put the fucking mask all the time. I get it, some people need to put the mask, but fuck, man, like I'm so done with like you meet someone, it's like a couple week passes, and you end up like fucking finding out that like they're not what what they told you, and they actually were like not even like they were not even like having the qualities that like they pretended to have. They just pretended to have these qualities, which is just like sick. It just like makes me sick and makes me like this allows me sometimes to actually be social to this point, you
The
know?
ontological fallacy of expecting a light at the end of the tunnel. Well, that's what the preacher sells. Same as a shrink. See, the preacher, he encourages your capacity for illusion. Then he tells you it's a fucking virtue. There's always a buck to be had doing that. I mean, it's such a desperate sense of entitlement, isn't it? Surely this is all for me. Me? Me, I'm so fucking important. I'm so fucking important, right?
Yeah, self-righteousness and self-importance, like you can see it, and it's like I think that like when it comes to you see me on YouTube and on like as entertainers, it's quite different. But like you can see that like self being important and self-entitlement, and like basically like pretending to be important is really different. Like there's like there's a notion in between like being actually important to some people and pretending to be important, and this is something that like a lot of people like they don't even notice why the fuck is they hate someone, and it's just because of like the couple like at least like from my observation the couple things that I just discussed, that they don't fucking like have the literature, so the education to fucking like put words on to describe, to put words for, like to adjectivize, right? And but yeah, anyway.
People. I've seen the finale of thousands of lives, man. Young, old. Each one is so sure of their realness. You know that their sensory experience constituted a unique individual with purpose, meaning. So certain that they were more than a biological puppet. Truth wheels out and everybody sees. Once the strings are cut off, all down. Each still body so certain that they were more than the sum of their urges. All the useless spinning, tired mind, collisions of desire and ignorance.
This is where like I draw the line, where like I actually respect innocence. I'm not like a fucking like I don't see myself as better, and this is where kind of like where the separation begins, right? Well, I don't think that like people are like still like they're just innocent people trying to do their best, and they don't have the fucking philosophical fucking like knowledge or interest to fucking like know what's going on. Well, it's their choice, and that doesn't mean that they're bad people, and it doesn't mean that they're empty shells. Like what I dislike are jerks, like innocent people. Let them be, like this is like way too much pessimism for me. It's like at this point, like because I don't know, you've been like this before, so don't be hypocritical about like what you got out of,
This. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean when I'm talking about time and death and futility. There are broader ideas at work, mainly what is owed between us as a society for our mutual illusions. Our 14 straight hours of staring at DBs. These are the things you think of. You ever done that? You look in their eyes, even in a picture. Doesn't matter if they're dead or alive. You can still read them. And you know what you see? They welcomed it. Not at first, but right there in the last instant. It's an unmistakable relief. See, because they were afraid, and now they saw for the very first time how easy it was to just let go. And they saw in that last nanosecond, they saw what they were. That you, yourself, this whole big drama, it was never anything but a jerry-rig of presumption and dumb will. And you could just let go. Finally know that you didn't have to hold on so tight. To realize that all your life, not all your love, all your hate, all your memory, all your pain, it was all the same thing. It was all the same dream, a dream that you had inside a locked room. A dream about being a person.
I know what happens next.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the dream of, but like, let people dream, you know? Like, and this is where I draw the line where, like, it's like, yeah, it is true, and technically, like, biologically, like, medically, it is true. But let people fucking like be the dream at least, you know. Like, don't be a jerk about that, because this type of vibe actually like close you out. But at the same time, like people like this and character like this, like they don't fucking hurt other people. They're just gonna shock them, and they go their way and never fucking make friends, you know. Like,
I saw you in my dream. You're in Cohle now. With me. He sees you. You'll do this again. Time is a flat circle.
What's that, Nietzsche? Shut the fuck up. Put it down.
Sinks into
Marty!
twin
There you go.
black star.
Why should I live in history, huh? Fuck, I don't want to know anything anymore. This is a world where nothing is solved. When someone once told me time is a flat circle. Everything we've ever done or will do, we're gonna do over and over and over again. And that little boy and that little girl, they're gonna be in that room again. And again. And again. Forever. In this universe, we process time linearly, forward. But outside of our space-time, from what would be a fourth dimensional perspective, time wouldn't exist. And from that vantage, could we attain it?
yeah, time has always been a paradox of itself, when where it's like everything is like, you cannot tell me that like the universe is just a fucking line at the end of the day, right? A timeline, right? Well, at the same time, we are bound by human logics that are limited to ourselves, and this is something that like some people using like psychotrops actually like can tell you that like there's so many ways to fucking like reshape this vision and actually like be aware of like non-human constructions that are explaining stuff like this, but we are too human to actually even like process the eventuality of like another answer.
We see our space-time would look flattened, like a single.
Like, I'll give you this example: animals, right? They don't process time, process seasons, right? And so technically, like, seasons, it's not time, it's not linear, it's a circle, you know, when it comes to time. Or certain animals, they don't process time at all, they just process survival. And so they're not like flatlined and like locked up in this like logic of linearity, you know? But we are. Like, I don't know how to fucking like get out of it. I fucking become like feral or something, you know. I go to the forest, pretend to fucking be a wolf for like a month, you know,
Single sculpture with matter and a superposition
for a couple seasons, you know.
of every place it ever occupied. Or sentience just cycling through our lives like carts on a track. See, everything outside our dimension, that's eternity. Eternity looking down on us. Now, to us, it's a sphere. But to them, it's a circle. In eternity, where there is no time, nothing can grow, nothing can become, nothing changes. So death created time to grow the things that it would kill. And you are reborn, but into the same life that you've always been born into.
It's interesting to actually think about like how we will, if we would actually as humans describe time as linear, if we were all born immortal. That will be interesting actually. But too bad we're missing the we are all born immortal factor.
And how many times have we had this conversation, detectives? Well, who knows? And you can't remember your lives. You can't change your lives. And that is the terrible and secret fate of all life. You're trapped. Like a nightmare you keep waking up into.
So there was like no commentary to this. I'm actually kind of disappointed. I guess like next time we'll have a commentary. But Rascal really like interesting perspectives and point of view. Like I just overall disagree with the with attacking innocents. You know, like innocent people, like basically idiots. You know, like the fucking dude from McDonald's that is fucking nice and that you know is not a fucking like ultra machine when it comes to knowledge. Well, leave him alone and don't fucking criticize him for like not expecting much more and being happy with what he has, you know? Like he is not a construct, he is not a fucking like just biological waste using like his endorphins to just lead his life. He's someone who has dreams and he's someone who will always has I've dreamed. And to be fair, like at least like to me, like it will be always like people happier and more beautiful than me just because they have this sense of this ability to stay pure within their ignorance. People say that ignorance is bliss. It is truly, it is truly. Anyway,